Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. As always, a great way to support the channel is by leaving a like, by leaving a comment, or by subscribing if you have not already done so. At the moment, Ledger is having a deal on their Ledger Family Pack S. For those of you who are interested, there is a link in the description below. While I am not a worker of Ledger, I am an affiliate and do have an affiliate code. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. At the moment, once again, for the, the fourth, fifth, or somethingth day in the row, the cryptocurrency market is still in green. It says technical analysis, Ethereum could see liftoff if it's able to hold one crucial level. And by liftoff, we're talking about the $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 Ethereum level. We heard earlier this year when I think Ethereum hit 4,500, 5,000 or something like that, something or other. That earlier this year we heard that sometime later on this year, Ethereum looks poised to hit between $10,000 to $15,000 during this current cycle. The price news since the beginning of this month has been hyper bullish. There's really no other way to kind of say that. It says Bitcoin breaks past crucial resistance at 48,400, can trigger bull run above these levels. Bitcoin is currently, at the time of me making this video, above 49,000 US dollars. I believe, if I am not mistaken, after having read the news over the last couple of days, I believe the number to look out for is 50,000, something or other. Logically, if we hit 50 and then we hit 52, that's kind of the number that everyone keeps saying and I keep seeing around. The 52,000 is kind of like the hyper breakout point when we end up potentially seeing the $65,000 Bitcoin price again. There's a lot of optimistic Bitcoin price news. I mean, more than I can possibly even have in just one video. If you were here the day before or the day before that, you have definitely seen a lot of people are saying, no one knows for certain, but that at some point this year, they're expecting a $100,000 Bitcoin. I think the lowest that I've seen is 100K to around 150,000. I think those are more conservative, price levels. With the highest so far this year being the 288,000 from. I don't know if you can even see that on the screen. The 288,000 from Plan B and the 300 something or other thousand. I believe that JP Morgan gave sometime earlier this year or last year. On top of that, it says Bitcoin eyes key upside break, outperforms Ethereum, and Doge rallies. A lot of altcoins rallied really hard, which is typically what we see whenever Bitcoin goes up by 3, 4, 5%. Altcoins tend to rise by 8, 15, 25% at the exact same time. Dogecoin and Shiba Inu coin did exceedingly well over the course of the evening. It says Shiba Inu deletes a zero from its price amid 70% surge. Here's the catalyst. I'll give you one word as to why you think Shiba Inu and Doge both went up in price. And even more so, I'm not sure if that's even kind of the thing anymore. There are many different websites and different forums where people kind of get together to choose which of their most favorite coins they plan on actually buying up a lot of. The reason was given as musky once again. That dog is adorable. Apparently, he sent out a tweet of his new dog in the trunk. Yes, it's a Tesla trunk. I was like, what is that dog inside of? And this is believed to be the reason behind the actual price movement. Could it be? Not really sure, but I know people who are holding these coins are feeling pretty good, right? I think Dogecoin went up by 25% or something like that over the same time period, while Shiba Inu went up, I think, around 81% and is currently around 50% in the plus area. I think this also ties into it as well. And it says institutional bulls back Bitcoin after weeks of altcoin accumulation. We've heard over it's been about a good 8 weeks or so, that whales, rich people, institutions had shifted their focus to Ethereum, Cardano, Solana, all these other coins we could see on the actual institutional funds list and their cryptocurrency wallets, how many coins that they were accumulating. And it seemed for a while that they weren't accumulating as much Bitcoin as they were before, as they were focusing on altcoins. But now for some reason, the shift has moved back. to Bitcoin. So I assume if the trend holds, this means that over the course of the next 3, 4, maybe even 5 or so weeks, we're going to start to hear a lot of institutional Bitcoin news, because before it was just like institutions are adding this. This has been added to Grayscale. This has been added to so-and-so. Ethereum is this. Remember all the news that we were getting for weeks and weeks and weeks about the Ethereum flippening and Ethereum doing this, how that's kind of simmered down a little tiny bit. Not that it's still not a possibility. It's just more so a, I think the focus is going to move back to Bitcoin, especially as we get all these people talking about Bitcoin moving from $49,000 to $250,000 over the course of a 3 to 6 month period. I think this is also, what's this one? Yeah, here's the actual blog post of the institutional funds moving back into Bitcoin kind of thing. Yeah, that's all the price news. Very good price news. Nothing bad. Across the board, once again, everyone is completely bullish. Everyone's waiting for these spectacular prices. A lot of people are even calling this Uptober, as in October going up. So I'm not joking. You can find that. I keep seeing people. I saw it on a couple of articles, and I thought that they simply couldn't spell October, and I kind of let it go. But I was like, oh, they're calling it Uptober. So yeah, the optimism is definitely there. Anyway, that's all the price news. And without further ado, let's move on. Now there's multiple very popular news that we have coming up. El Salvador's president has confirmed on Twitter on Sunday that the Latin American nation has successfully onboarded 3 million users to its Chivo wallet in just 26 days. The total population of El Salvador is 6.4 million people, meaning nearly half of its citizens have received their $30 worth of Bitcoin within the first month of the government making it legal tender. The government announced that when Bitcoin became legal within the country, legal tender alongside the other, I think they're also using the dollar as well, that everyone who has this wallet would receive $30 worth of free Bitcoin, which may not seem like a lot to you, but it actually is a lot for many different places. On top of that, the news is, with a population of 6.4 million, and 3 million people downloading it, we can logically assume, that people probably over the age of 70, 75 are not downloading this wallet because they simply can't be bothered, because they probably don't know how to. And also younger people, are probably not doing it as well because they probably are not allowed to. Anyway, so yeah, very big news. A lot of people are very, proud of this, if you kind of want to say that. There's a lot of adoption news that we've been getting over even the last 24 hours. Every time that El Salvador breathes heavily, it's constantly in the cryptocurrency news. We had news before that they've collected, I think, several hundred Bitcoin. They keep doing it all the time. Their cryptocurrency mining factory, which is using thermal energy, is now online, and we saw the first batch of Bitcoin that they received from it. So a lot of people are very optimistic about the future of this. I think they'll do extremely well. I think they will be seen in history as one of the earliest adopters of digital currencies. But the news for right now, and I only have one article because, it doesn't require more, if you will. 3 million people have now downloaded it, and I think they are one of the, I'm certain, one of the largest users of the Lightning Network on the planet, because, you can't buy something for $2.50 if the transaction fee is $14. Anyway, that's the El Salvador news. And let's move on. Also in adoption news, New Zealand has now their first Bitcoin investment fund. Vault International Bitcoin Fund became the first in New Zealand to entirely focus on Bitcoin. According to a local report, Vault Digital Funds provided New Zealand investors with a new fund called Vault International Bitcoin Fund. Through it, they would have the opportunity to add the asset class to their portfolio without having to own it directly, which is the way that most funds work. I'm not sure how this even came to be a thing, that everyone told everyone else that they have to be afraid of physically owning Bitcoin. But there are tons of funds who will buy it for you and give you a pat on the back and say, hey, yeah, you own Bitcoin too, buddy. I promise. I don't know. Sure, why not? They said, we see this as a great way for people to get exposure without having to do all the more complicated and technical part of it themselves. It's usually just like a buy button. Like you go into a website, you click buy, and then you see the Bitcoin on your wallet. She noted that the initiative would have a somewhat different focus than most traditional investment funds. It would be appropriate for people with an investment plan of more than 10 years, which we've also gone over before. I told you, these people aren't into Bitcoin for, a 1-2 year period. There are these institutions are in Bitcoin for the next 40, 50, 60 years. So make sure that you always keep that in the back of your head as well. So this was super popular news. Here's the actual news article for it. The website is from Stuff. I don't live in New Zealand, so I don't know what Stuff is, but Stuff is the website. It says New Zealand's first Bitcoin-only investment fund has launched. So cool. Hope it works out for them. I'm glad that they are physically investing in actual Bitcoin. And I guess if there are people who maybe are afraid of buying Bitcoin themselves or don't know how to do it, or maybe once again, maybe even a bit older, but still want exposure to Bitcoin, they can, I guess, go through this fund. I assume, I don't remember reading it anywhere, but I assume this is for more heavy walleted individuals, as many funds are. It would be nice if everything was for everyone, but alas, that's not how this world works. Anyway, that's the New Zealand news. And let's move on. Now, here's the big news of the day that everyone keeps losing their mind over. And I'm going to explain a couple of things. I've been reading on it, and I'm going to try to explain a couple of things. Brazil's federal deputy, Aureo Ribeiro, has revealed that Brazilians could soon be able to buy houses, cars, and even McDonald's with Bitcoin. The South American nation is preparing to vote on a cryptocurrency regulation bill, which is expected to be presented to the plenary of the Chamber of Deputies within the next few days. They said, "We want to separate the wheat from the chaff, create regulations so that you can trade, know where you're buying, and know who you're dealing with," end quote. Another quote: "With this asset, you will be able to buy a house, a car, go to McDonald's to buy a hamburger. It will be a currency in the country as it happened in other countries," end quote. Bill number 2.303/15, which calls for the regulation of virtual currencies, was approved for presentation last week. If it gets the thumbs up from the Chamber of Deputies this week, then Brazil looks set to follow El Salvador's example and make Bitcoin legal tender. So, this news story is being thrown around a lot of places. As it looks right now, and I've seen a lot of angry articles as well, what it appears to be is that there is a bill, as we went over. It is going to be presented to, I assume, that is their parliament. Sure, why not? The vote that is going to happen is not to explicitly make it legal tender. It is to make it legal, so that if you are a holder of Bitcoin, if at some point you decide to sell your Bitcoin, you will be legally able to do so, because I believe there's a huge gray line in the entire thing in many different countries. Same exact thing within the United States. People are definitely using their crypto, but you're kind of not supposed to, because it's supposed to be on the tax things and yada, yada, yada. So this is kind of the idea. Part of the issue is that a lot of people are announcing that Bitcoin will then become legal tender. Apparently, nowhere on the bill does it say Bitcoin will become the legal tender of Brazil. More so that it's going to be something that can be used to be able to purchase things. Like, you can still use Bitcoin in Canada and in many other places to purchase things, but that does not make it the actual legal tender of that country. And the other issue is articles like this, or titles like this. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says Brazil set to adopt Bitcoin as its legal tender. The idea being that Brazil is ready to go. They've already signed off, and that they're set to do so, which has not yet happened. And as its legal tender, there were many different websites reporting that this was going to be Brazil's new currency as their only legal tender within the country. And they're doing this because Bitcoin's better, and they're doing this because they know that they have to do it now, and that none of that is actually happening. The idea is to legalize it, essentially also make sure that the tax man gets his slice of the pie, but to let people know that if you choose to use this in a store to buy something, to buy a car, to buy blah, 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 you are then legally able to do so. This was all over the place. And I mean like really crazy articles, people being like, it's time, Brazil's doing it, everyone else has to do it. Other people being like, this is a terrible idea, this and that. And I mean, if people just sat down and actually read a little bit more, I think the world would be a much better place. But alas, that's not how things actually work. So, as of now, sometime over the course of this week, the news that we have now is that this is going to be voted on. I assume that it is going to be approved to simply make Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies legal within the country, not make them legal tender. That would mean getting rid of their old currency and simply only using Bitcoin. That is not going to happen overnight. But yeah, it's still very good news. Brazil's a very big player in the market, and I assume this will only get more people into it, more people moving to Brazil, more money moving into the country. But that's the news right now. There were a lot of people talking about this, and a lot of people were getting it wrong, thinking that they were going to pull in El Salvador and simply have it as a legal tender. Does not appear to be at the moment. We will see as the week moves on, and if this does get pushed through. Right. Let's move on. I mean, like, people were really losing their minds over this. It was actually kind of a bit insane, if you will. And to finish things off, Bitcoin's price basically moved up so much that it surpassed the market cap of Facebook. A lot of people were using this as a way to kind of make fun of Facebook. They were making fun of Instagram. I'm not sure if you saw over the last 12, 13, 14 hours or so. A lot of these services were down at the exact same time. You simply could not access them. It doesn't bother me, but other people were like, oh my gosh, I can't access my cat photos and all these other things. So the same exact time when those services went down, Bitcoin's price was surging as the rest of the cryptocurrency market was. And yeah, Bitcoin surpassed the value or the market value of Facebook, and that was, very popular news. This is not the first time that this has happened or some similar news story like this. For those of you who have forgotten, this one says Bitcoin hits $25,000, an all-time high milestone, surpassing Visa's market cap. This one says Bitcoin's value surpasses that of 4 prominent banks in America. We get news like this every 2 or 3 months whenever Bitcoin is actually finally moving up in price. Bitcoin always passes by multiple banks, multiple companies, multiple hedge funds. I mean, you kind of name it, businesses. I think the other thing that we're now looking to pass, I think is, this is actually a pretty significant one. It's the value of gold. So, it's not something to be taken completely lightly. But this happens all the time. Even when we had Bitcoin above $65,000 and we passed by the $1 trillion market cap, we had completely obliterated many other actual currencies around the world. We don't get those charts anymore because I assume maybe people just are, I'm not really exactly sure. But remember years ago, we used to always get news like we've passed by this currency. If Bitcoin was a world currency, it would be number 23. It would be number 17. Bitcoin would be number 8. So Bitcoin is still ranking incredibly high. And I know that Bitcoin is a world currency. Believe me, I know. I've been here for a while. It's just more of a, on a government list or the, International Monetary Fund list. There is no Bitcoin's not in the rankings. But if we did the math, Bitcoin, we know kind of where it goes. So this is happening all the time. The really big thing that, once again, and this is why the $200,000 to $250,000 thing is a very big deal. It's because not only do we pass by the silver market cap, we completely obliterate gold. And this was, I don't want to use the word prophesized, but this was spoken about a number of years ago as well, where, what bank was it? I don't remember. I think they were saying that if Bitcoin passed by $250,000 per coin, I think it would be large enough or strong enough to be able to push aside the US dollar and be seen more as an actual currency than anything else. So, yeah. Bitcoin has passed by Facebook. It's passed by many other things. I don't have an exact chart for you right here. But Bitcoin's doing just fine, especially even when, once again, if you consider that this time last year, or rather around last year, the entire market of everything collapsed and Bitcoin fell down to $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 or something like that. And, just kind of look at where we are right now. Anyway, yeah, let's move on. As always, A very special thank you to my Patreon supporters, Professor Wally from Gunbite University. And let's move on. Chris, Hakeem Wilkins, Empire Queen, Stake It With Valor, Fudd, Wiser, Mortified, Roman, Gaba, Bitcoin Ben, Arachno, Dave, Tony Ambroski, The Dealer's Den, Red Plump Tomato, Wishnicki, The Letter M, Stefan Dirk, Snot Brain, Captain Something and the Z-Way Lay, Crypto Black Sheep, AJ Cut 5, Speedy655, and Carlos Was Like, Mobarazi, Jojo Shaw Show, VB Nerd, 21, Miguel Grolet, Lauren De Silva, Quartered Biddy, Bare Bones Mining, Troy Allgood, Space Case, Need a Miracle, Paternoster, Conan, don't skip leg day, Snacky Chan, Tolik Banana, Snacky Chan, Tolik Banana, it's funny again. Tolek, Banana, Auspicious Agile, and Blockchain, Navarro Williams, David James, Attila the Han, Yasha Harari, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Martin Stoyer, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, Ebibiophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Moha Moroni, Master Ventures in Thailand, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Coldy 3D, Damien, Setsuna, Rich III, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Nick Manji, Alavodi, Jim Garner, Jemmy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller His Chest Every Day, and Cow Skips Leg Day, Yester Crypto, Buttermig, Boatface, Anytime Fitness, Moss Corner Staff, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger, Machonisa, All Crypto with Lana, Krail, and Michelle, URL, Bolero Bastos. See, one breath. Thank you all very, very much for your support. Thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel, who clicked the little join button below. Thank you to everyone who is an NFT supporter. Thank you. I really do thank you for all the support on my art. Thank you to everyone who left a comment, a like, has subscribed, or is still here listening to me ramble about nonsense. At the moment, Bitcoin is at 49,500 US dollars. It is currently up by 3.38 percentile points. It is currently, okay, Dogecoin is up by 9. I assume this was like a 15-20% rise somewhere around here. So it's currently more up mathematically than Bitcoin is. Okay, a lot of the other coins are like in a light red at the moment. Nothing too crazy. Internet Computer is up by 11. Internet Computer. Every time I say it, it kind of is up by 11%. Filecoin is up by 6%. Lumens is up by 4%. VeChain Thor is up by 6 as well. Hedera Hashbar Graphbar Bar is up by 5%. Shiba Inu is up by 53%. At the momento, Monero is up by 3. EOS is up by 4. See. No EOS news, but every day EOS is, this was like 3 something a couple days ago. I don't know. I feel like something's happening. Anything else? Clay is up by 16%. The Graph is up by 3% as well. And Waves is up by 5.49%. Yeah. Interesting week so far. It is only Tuesday. I would love, obviously, to see, more price gains. Let's hope that it continues happening. We know that realistically, Bitcoin has already passed by $65,000. It would be wonderful if we could simply do it again so we can stop having these discussions as if Bitcoin is going to potentially one day do it, because we know that it's simply going to because of supply and demand. So get to it, Bitcoin. Stop fooling around. Anyway, I do hope you all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all, every single one of you, for watching, listening, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.